Welcome to Piano Video Lessons, Lesson 10 of Unit 7. This is Piano Chording Level 2 of Year 2 of PianoVideoLessons.com. And today we're talking about slash chords. So you briefly saw a slash chord in Auld Lang Syne, which we covered in lesson number 9. Me and my squeaky bench here. And I told you just to ignore it. So you did. Good job. Let's talk about what it means. G minor slash B flat means to play your G minor chord with B flat on the bottom. We've done this before, okay? We've played inversions before, but we're going to fully address it now as we learn about slash chords. So looking at our lesson material here today, you can see that there's a C triad written out in root position, and this means that it's just in its regular old form with the root on the bottom. And then we can have a C chord with a slash E. So what that means is now that E becomes the lowest note of your C triad, and you can put the C on the top. So this is a C slash E chord. And then we can have a C slash G chord. And all that means is put G on the bottom, any old where, G on the bottom with the other notes, which are C and E, above. So this is a C slash G chord. So let's look how that can go in another example. We can have an F chord. We can have an F slash A chord, which means that the A is now on the bottom. So we still have F, A, C, but the bottom note is A. And we can have an F slash C chord. You'll notice that the slash in every case here, the note is one of the notes in the chord. Here's a G chord. Here's a G slash B chord, so B on the bottom, and then a G slash D, so D is on the bottom. This can mean other things as well. So what we can also have is we can have a C chord on the right hand with C on the bottom. We can have a C slash E where the C is on the right hand and E is on the bottom. We can have a C slash G where G is now on the bottom. And so this is still a C slash G because it's a C chord over G. We can have other crazy things. We can have a C slash F chord, right? Doesn't sound as good. It's a C chord with an F on the bottom, but sometimes we might want to pass through that just to give some dissonance. So don't get it in your head that the slash on the bottom always implies that the note is in the chord. Sometimes it's not, but it always does mean that the lowest note in your bass is going to be the letter that comes after the slash. So looking at this one here, we had G minor slash B, so we had the G minor chord with B on the bottom. So that would take us from B flat major 7, which we played like this, to G minor slash B, one note away. See how that's a nice, easy transition. So sometimes these are written in to give a good sound in the bass, and other times they're written in to make a note easier to play with your left hand. So what I would like to do now is just write out a few of these. We can work through the circle of fifths, and we can write out slash chords. So let me grab my circle of fifths from lesson 1. And let's start off on D here. So I'm going to put this in the treble clef just for convenience sake. And we're going to have D, F sharp, A. That's my D major chord, and that's just D. Now, if I wanted to play the D over F sharp, I would put the F sharp first, then I would put the A, and then I would take this D and put it on the top, just like that. And I could have a D over A, so D slash A chord. So then I would put A on the bottom, and then I would finish with my other chord notes, D and F sharp. Great. And now we have, let's make a line here to show that we're done with the D. Let's make the A major triad. So we'll have A, C sharp, and E. That's just a plain old A chord. Now we can do an A slash C sharp. That's the middle note of the chord. So here we'll have C sharp on the bottom. Then we can have E and A above it. And we can have an A slash E chord. So we'll have E on the bottom with A above it and C sharp. Just like that. You get the idea. Let's try this E chord. So we have E, G sharp, B. That's your basic E triad, E major. And then we can have E slash G sharp. So we'll have G sharp on the bottom, and then B, and E on the top. Or we could have E slash B. So now we'll have B on the bottom with E and G sharp written above. All right, let's try a couple of minors. So let's do D minor. So we're going to have D minor, just like that, DFA. And then we can have D minor slash F. So we'll have F on the bottom. And then we'll have A and D above. And we can also have D minor slash A. So we can start with A on the bottom, and then we can have D and F above. And we'll do one more. Let's do C minor. So we'll have here C, E flat, G. That's just your basic C minor triad. Then we're going to have C minor slash E flat. So we'll have E flat on the bottom with G and C. And we can have C minor slash G. So we have G, C, E flat, just like so. All right, so that is the way you write the slash chord. Any chord at all can be written as a slash chord. Like we could even take, for example, this C7. So let's just try that. Here we're going to have C7. So we'll have C, E, G, B flat. That's just your basic C7 chord. Now what if I had C7 slash G? So what would I have on the bottom? G. And then I would have B flat. And then I would have these other two notes that are on the bottom now. So I'd have C and E. Just like that. So that would take it to G, B flat, C, and E. Same chord, different inversion. Let's try another crazy one. Let's do an F major 7 chord slash A. So we're going to start with A, because that's the bottom note, and then we're going to put F major 7 above it. So we've got A, and then C, and then E, and then F. So that's F major 7 over A, which you could also play like this. Or you can just take it into that inversion and play it like so. So that's the basic premise of any of these slash chords. And I've given you lots of paper that you can practice writing out slash chords. But the basic idea is whatever is after the slash is the lowest note you play in the bass or in the piece or during the harmony. So in lesson number 11, we're going to review back over some of our previous pieces, and we're going to create slash chord arrangements in the harmony to make the left hand easier to reach. So come on back and join me in lesson number 11.